Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 4, the rough draft. Excuse me. So I want to share with you that I pull up the assignment PDF. It gives the components. These are like the nuts and bolts. And I scroll through quickly just to make sure that you have all of the components. So I see this letter transmittal. I see executive summary, table of contents, introduction. There we go. Scope and purpose. There we go. Awesome. I can see that you're using the Victoria Business School. Here we go. Okay. So I like how you have used this structure. I don't have that pulled up right now, but I can tell that you're using the Victoria Business School model. And that is a great framework to lay out, your outline. I like how you've used these headings, and that just helps to guide your writing. I'm a very methodic writer also. I like to lay out my outline first so that I can just plug in the components. What I want to share with you is I have this sample report. This is the Evening Shades and this is the L'Amour. You can find those in week 6. And I want to show you, this is their letter of transmittal. Do you see how short and sweet that is? Like just cutting straight to the chase. Here is the letter of transmittal here. Your letter of transmittal has a little bit more the feel of the, oops, let me try to pull this down here. Try and make my screen a little larger. Has a little bit more of a feel of our memo from our memo to a decision maker, which is a different kind of purpose. It's a totally different type of business writing. So what I recommend that you do is cut straight to the chase. Enclosed, please find the report on modifying professional development modifying behaviors through professional development in our department. You authorized this, authorized by you in late June. The report takes a look at the current status of team members and the current burnout rate of team members and the benefits of instituting a professional development plan to mitigate that situation. Thank you in advance for your time and consideration. And that's it. Take a look at these. These are like, here it is. Here's the report. This is what it does. Thanks for your time. I recommend avoiding this. Hope you find it useful. I think you're going to like it. I mean, of course you hope they're going to find it useful. When I'm reading business reports, I obviously you're passionate about the subject. It is integral. It means something very specific to you. You would not have spent that much time in the real world. You spent this much time because you're taking this class and you have to. But in the real world, if you were to generate a research-based report, yes, of course you're passionate about the topic. And of course you hope that they implement your recommendations because you're finding a bigger problem. The reality is that you have a decision maker that you just want to say, you don't, of course they'll be able to find you. They know who instituted or, has drafted this report. Simply to say, thank you in advance for your time and consideration. XOXO, or, sincerely. So this letter transmittal or letter to a decision maker needs to be truncated. You really need to cut that short. And instead, your executive summary is really like that, the writing assignment number 3, where it goes through. If you'll notice, this is kind of even the same headings as writing assignment number 3. So what I recommend is including a little more detail into your purpose and method. Really, the summary, the executive summary, is like what is happening in our space, and then research shows X, Y, and Z. Our office shows A, B, and C. Recommendations to improve this. So then your table of contents, you want to make sure, great, that you're using APA format, introduction. Okay. Here are what I want to, you're not conducting the research. You're not asking for to do that now because you should have already done that. Your final paper is the compilation of what you've learned from that primary research. So I think maybe you've taken a part of what it looks like you've done is taken your writing assignment number 3 and plugged it in, which is awesome because it's the same amount of information. Okay, so I would remove the first person. I propose, I would like. Instead, use third person. You want to use objectivity. It's much more impactful in business writing to be objective and removed from that. So, okay, the dental office can and should be instrumental in defining types of training. So, can and should, that's, you want to change your verb structure to be the more more active. So the dental office plays an instrumental role in defining the types of training in-house, and it don't be projective, be active voice. So common for team members. Okay, so let's move down to this next, the scope of the study. Sources and methods. Okay, so what I recommend that you do, these need to go, okay, this is right down here is your, these are your findings from your secondary research. This needs to be moved to, so if you have the scope of your study, purpose of the study, scope of the study, methods, sources and methods, and then inside of here, findings, because you can't draw your conclusion until you share your findings. So you want to move this findings and discussion area up, and you want to put your secondary research first and then your primary findings. And I don't see the primary research. Where is it that did you do surveys in your office? Did you, you want to show your primary research listed here. And then after you show your findings from the study, then put your conclusions and your recommendations. So it looks like you still have that primary research to integrate into here. And then that will help to clarify your recommendations and your findings. I mean, your conclusion and your recommendations. So I look forward to reading your final copy.